about to quit. Well, next up, we'll go from New Jersey to Florida for the Miami Motorcycle Grand Prix. Ken Squire, Dave Despain, and Mike Joy shift gears from their usual four-wheel surroundings to two-wheelers when CBS Sports Sunday returns after this.
CBS Sports Sunday is sponsored by Honda Motorcycles. Honda, come ride with us. Dutch Boy paints for the look that gets the looks. You can see why it's worth more. And by New Bud Dry, cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste.
When it comes to rides, this one is serious fun. The new Cub, only from Honda.
Dutch Boy Satin Finish Paint. For the look that gets the looks year after year. You can see why it's worth more.
Toasters down? Oh, want to know any more? Ask Ace. That's what I do.
2 Intermatic security timers are just $4.97, and Ace professional grade duct tape is just $3.33 a roll.
Hey, Ace is the place for me.
It's a new dawn for the city of Miami. The splash and glitter of the 80s, giving way to a new maturity, a quiet self-assurance that Miami has arrived. Just this week, the city's football club extended its hand to previously suspended running back Tony Collins. Don Shula, he came back from knee surgery. And the city welcomed a new breed of athlete. Motorcycle racers, fun-loving, daring, courageous. They hope to take their sport from the racetracks to the big city streets.
And welcome back to Sports Sunday as Summer Sports 90 presents the Miami Motorcycle Grand Prix. These folks are seeing it for the very first time, and they are loving it. There's just one word for it, and that is like the weather. 90 degrees. It's hot. Hot indeed in every corner on every lap. Take a look at Scott Russell, Jonesboro, Georgia, 70 miles per hour, out in front in his event, steps off, step back on, and continued to victory. That's the kind of competition the Superbikes deliver of the American Motorcycle Association. Hello, everyone. I'm Ken Squire. We're used to going to auto races, see folks get off of the grass. That's no big deal. See them scrape the wall. Happens every lap. Well, if it happens here on these Superbikes, it has catastrophic implications. We have some 40 riders ready to go 60 miles, 40 laps on this 11-turn, mile-and-a-half course. These riders seem like superstars, superheroes, Herculean efforts like you just saw demonstrated. But when you talk to them, they say, hey, we're just regular folks whose interests are a little different.
I've just loved motorcycles or anything with an engine on it since I was a toddler, probably. I mean, I pedaled the little cars around in the driveway and turned them over and everything else. So I love any type of equipment or machinery. It's in my blood.
I'm a racer. I stick in ball sports. I don't even know the rules. I'm a racer.
It's fun to scare yourself. It only happens, it's over very quick, and it's almost fun to step over the line and pull it all back in, and you have this kind of defiant attitude. And when you're riding poorly, the scares last a long time. They last 2 or 3 corners.
Oh, they are a unique group of people, and one who knows them well, who grew up with them, has ridden with them, has raced with them, is our colleague Dave Despain.
Well, thank you, Ken. This race offers opportunity and also a challenge. The opportunity is for future growth. Street racing gives you lots of chances to go to new places to race. The challenge is safety. The motorcycles only have 2 wheels to deal with the inconsistencies of the track, and the riders don't have a lot of protection. Practice shows they've done a good job in developing the racetrack here, but there are still some concerns. Hard pavement in some of the corners to keep the race cars from churning up the surface. That's very slippery for the motorcycles. Just past start-finish, a couple of big bumps. That's where Scott Russell got into trouble. And then as we move back out to MacArthur Drive, the issue here is that tricky chicane at the exit, moving out onto Biscayne Boulevard. They have to hook left, then right, then left again before they get back up to top speed. That's a potential danger area. Then at over 130 miles an hour, hard on the brakes. See those lane markers? Those are painted on the road, and they're very, very slippery. That is a potential concern. It's a busy racetrack with 11 turns in just a mile and a half. One person's going to master it, Ken, and for this weekend, he'll be the hero of American motorcycle racing.
He was talking about that no roll bars. You know, the only safety equipment they bring in their helmet bag. And Mike Joy is covering the pits for us today. He has more on that story.
David Sadowski will help show us what the well-dressed rider's wearing this season. Start with a $1,000 custom-made carbon fiber helmet with a $350 design and paint job and a Lexan shield with tear-offs, so that if other riders kick up oil or grease, he can improve his vision as the race goes on. Gloves are about $50, and they're metal studded, not for fashion, but so that if he goes palms down off the motorcycle, he'll have something to slide on beside his hands. An auto racer's biggest concern is fire. They wear a Nomex suit, but this one is leather to guard against road rash. It's padded at the shoulders, at the elbow, along here at the knee. It's relieved so that he can get range of motion, and these little hockey puck pads, both on the suit and on the boots, end up looking like this after an afternoon of road racing. A very important piece of equipment is worn under the suit, and it's this spinal protector. You see here the rash that it got at Loudon, New Hampshire. Rather this pad than Dave's shoulder blades. Altogether, that's $3,500 worth of equipment, and how warm does it get under there?
Down here in Miami, we're facing some pretty extreme temperatures, Mike, and should I just be able to stay out front, I'd stay the coolest, but we're back in our pit area right now and putting larger vent holes in here to compensate for the warm Miami weather.
When we return, the start of the first Miami Motorcycle Grand Prix as Sports Sunday continues.
There's something new coming to you from Budweiser. A beer with a refreshing turn in taste. New Bud Dry. The first beer cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. Now that's a refreshing thought. Smooth taste, no aftertaste. Try Bud Dry.
It's Saturday. Do you need a better hand soap? Not us, we can cope. We don't need no lava soap, no. Ladies' hands don't get that dirty. We don't need no lava soap. Regular soap won't always work, but lava with pumice will. Paint, grease, dirt, whatever. Lava's better. Interested? Not particularly, no. We don't need no lava soap, no. Children's hands don't get that dirty. No, no, no. Lava. But don't try to cope without it, soap.
Wow, this cleaning's taking forever.
Oh, it's not going too well, is it? You mean you're not done yet?
We're not even close.
Some people have not yet tried Tartar Control Crest.
I can't believe this.
And some people have.
That was easy.
Because Tartar Control Crest can help make cleanings easier.
A new world's record, huh?
After all, it is the toothpaste more dentists recommend.
Highly commendable.
Great. See you later.
Tartar Control Crest. It's hard on tartar and easy on you.
Do I get a lollipop?
Over its life, a Motorcraft battery delivers enough energy to light up a small park, like Candlestick Park. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
You know, summer heat can wreak havoc on house paint, so choose Weather Beater.
Come to Sears Summer National Paint Sale. We've reduced our Weather Beater flat finish paint to just $11.76.
So see you at Sears.
Sale ends July 28th. Hurry.
The Senior PGA Tour continues as Chichi Rodriguez leads a field of living legends on a course designed by Jack Nicklaus, the Ameritech Senior Open, continuing today.
Well,
Welcome back to CBS Sports Sunday in the Miami Motorcycle Grand Prix. Just like Waveland Avenue behind Wrigley Field, Chicago, these Biscayne Boulevard spectators are rising above the heat. On the track, it's 130-degree pavement temperature for the racers and for their high-performance bikes. Yesterday, my colleague Dave Despain checked out the two-wheelers.
Sport bikes are the most popular form of street motorcycle currently sold in America, and they're the starting point for racing superbikes. Now, the key to building a superbike is modification. Per the rule book, the engine cases, the cylinders, and the heads have to remain stock. So too does the frame. Virtually everything else can and will be changed. First step, go into the engine, hot rod everything in sight. Get as much horsepower as possible. Now, you've got to get that horsepower hooked to the road. The key modifications there are in the suspension. The standard forks give way to these sophisticated upside-down versions and equally high-tech suspension to keep the rear wheel under control. Very visible difference here. The treaded street tires give way to these high-traction slicks. When you get down to the bottom line, the Superbike responds to a fundamental urge for all of us gearheads and performance freaks. Take something that's already very, very fast and make it a whole lot faster.
Thank you, David. The starting grid, 40 riders have qualified, 10 rows, 4 riders per row, and here are the headliners. In row 1, it's Doug Chandler. He's on the pole, looking for his 3rd win. Going to row 2, there you find John Ashmead, currently standing 5th in the standings. In row 3, Dale Quarterly, who's having a great season, privateer. In row 4, you find Kevin Rensell, along with Craig Gleason, Hopperstad, Dave Smith. In row 5 today, 3-time world champion Freddie Spencer trying to come back as the headliner. For row 6, Rick Shaw. He could be a factor before it's over. Policeman down here in Miami. In row 7, Dale Robinson is there from England. In row 8, you find Dr. David Kiefer, University of Wyoming gentleman. A leading privateer, William Beach, is in row number 9. And going to the final row, row 10, there you find Rick Herndon. Herndon out of Lakeland, Florida. Scott Gray will not start. Let's go to Mike Joy down on the line.
Doug Chandler just moments away from putting on the helmet and heading out here for 60 miles. You won your heat race going away, but what about it here for 40 laps?
It's going to be a really tough race out there. The heat's going to be a main factor, and I'd say about 8 to 10 laps into the race, we're going to start coming up on the back markers, and dealing with those guys is going to be a big part of the race in itself. And hopefully we'll have a clean race, no red flags, no pace cars. That's what I'm hoping for, but anything's possible on a circuit like this.
Good luck today.
All right, thank you.
A tough, twisting, nasty track, this 1.5 miles here at Miami for these Superbike riders. And we're set for a start, David.
Onboard camera will give us a great look at the launch. Can green and go.
Wave of 20 riders away. Good start. Second wave of 20 riders about to come off the line. And we have a rider down. And 7 other riders crashing here at turn 1.
Wes Cooley started it, I believe. Cooley was the man sliding across the racetrack. Everybody else went diving into the middle of the mess. They will have to restart it, Ken.
Red flag is out. Wes Cooley has crashed severely here at turn 1, and at least 5 other riders are involved. Let's look again at what happened here in the second wave.
Cooley already on the ground at this point and no indication of how it started, but watch the guys behind him with nowhere to go. They all aim right, looking for the hay bales, looking for an escape route to avoid running over Cooley. They were trying to miss the fallen rider. Here's Rick Herndon walking away from it. The other guys involved. Larry Gruen was in it. Bruce Neal got involved. Kevin Blaze motorcycle bounced off the bales. Just a big pileup for all those riders who were at the back. Here you see it again. Cooley has fallen at this point. He collided with the number 78 of Mark Foster. Foster goes on. Cooley slides across the road, and then here comes all that traffic from the back of that wave, and by the time they get there, the road is blocked, and they just dive into the bales.
Some heroic avoidance activity by many of those riders right into the impact area to miss the fallen Wes Cooley.
I saw Kevin Blaze get up. I didn't see anybody but Cooley take a real hard shot there, Ken. I think the rest of these guys are okay. Obviously, we see Herndon up walking around.
Wes Cooley, twice national champion, badly injured at Sears Point back in '85, broke his legs, broke his neck, trying to make a comeback. Didn't work out here. There's another story developing, and Mike Joy has it. Let's go to Mike on pit road.
This will completely change the pit stop strategy for this race. The bike started with only 2.5 gallons, not enough fuel to go the distance. But AMA officials said that if the race was red flagged, they could come in right away and take on fuel. David Sadowski on the Yamaha and Tom Stevens, the middle front row starter, have already fueled. So the Yamahas are all in. The Kawasaki's, I believe, Ken, the entire field will take on fuel at this time so they can run the distance 40 laps nonstop.
So an intended mandatory pit stop goes away. We'll have a complete restart. Wes Cooley is being taken to the hospital after this serious crash. We'll be back with more of the Miami Grand Prix here on CBS in a moment.
Gravity. It cannot be defied, but its impact can be lessened with the unique shock absorption of gel. ASICS Gel, the same material built into the ASICS Gel cross trainers. Do it better with ASICS Gel. But do it without the egg.
See our exciting new model at Foot Locker and other fine stores.
You know, summer heat can wreak havoc on house paint, so choose Weather Beater.
Come to Sears Summer National Paint Sale. We've reduced our Weather Beater flat finish paint to just $11.76.
So see you at Sears.
Sale ends July 28th. Hurry.
Nothing's rougher on a man's face than shaving. That's why there's Skin Bracer. It's more than an aftershave. It soothes, cools, tightens pores, so it's good for your skin.
Thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Man. Ride with me, gonna take you places that you've never seen. Come ride with me, take you to the places that you wanna be. A machine and a man, working like one, eating the curve. Run, baby, run. Someone to lean on to carry you through. Take you someplace that's new, yeah. Come ride with me, gonna take you places that you've never seen. Come ride with me, ride this country, wide with me.
And welcome back to Sports Sunday. We're here at the Miami Grand Prix where a restart is the call of the day. Red flag is on the course, and this is the reason why. It was in the second wave of riders, 20 of them away, and Wes Cooley was apparently the first man down here.
Cooley tried to go in under another rider the way it appeared. The front end washed out from under him as he and the motorcycle slid across the racetrack. It was just duck pins, and he took half a dozen guys into the hay bales.
Among those taken in were Bruce Neal, Rick Herndon, Larry Grun, were all involved in the incident. Look at it again here.
I think it started with contact. I think they actually bumped as he came through there. It looked like he made contact, and as the bikes collided, his front end went out from under him, and that left Cooley sliding along the road.
For more on the story, here's Mike Joy.
Rick Herndon and Kevin Blaze were two of the riders involved. Rick, you were in there first. What happened after Wes Cooley seemed to lose it there?
All I saw was no more racetrack and a bunch of hay bales. And I tried to get it stopped before I hit the hay bales, but I had to throw it down at the last minute to keep from hitting them straight up.
You got quite a bit of leather rash. How's that shoulder?
It's a little sore.
And so is the bike, but you'll both be okay?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to try to start again.
Kevin, you were in there late and then got away.
Yes, well, I saw the sliding bikes. I tried to make a move to the right and try to pick a little line going through. And by the time I did, there was bikes sliding in front of me, so I just had to plant on the rear brake and stick it into the hay bales and take a little jump off. The crew straightened out the bike, and we looked pretty good.
Okay, a little dented, but undaunted. They're waiting to get back at it.
Ken, preliminary indication on Wes Cooley, broken collarbone, couple of broken ribs. They'll take him in and check him over. The camera, damage is terminal.
That's heartbreaking news for the two-time Superbike champion, David.
Coming back after a bad injury in 1985, Cooley was getting his momentum back. It is a big disappointment. Broken shoulder, he'll heal up from that.
Carrying one of our onboard cameras today as well. The other camera rides with John Ashmead. Will be in row number 2. Front of the field just about set again. It will be a two-wave start. Another time in the Superbike Grand Prix.
And Mike made a key point about the pit stop. They now have full tanks of fuel. This will be, with luck, a green flag race all the way.
The 2 marker is on the field. Going to 1 very quickly here. 38 riders remain. It's over and they're gone. First wave is away. Second wave is away. Here's where there was almost a problem here as the number 11 bike got ridden out, able to continue on.
Yeah, it was tight through there, but they made it through. The Kawasaki's jump out front. Not a big surprise. Here you see the tail end of the first wave and then the beginning of the second wave. The separation for safety purposes to separate the guys at the front. Here are the Kawasaki's up front. They're the guys to beat today. Yeah.
Doug Chandler and Scott Russell setting the early pace as the field is away on this 1.5 mile 11-turn course.
Key here is to not get over anxious on the first lap. There are only 2 right-hand turns on this racetrack. You've got to get the tires up to temperature. So for the first lap, you've really got to kind of feel your way and not get impatient. Out front, we've got 2 Kawasaki's, then the 2 Yamahas, and then the Honda, and that should be the story of the race.
Doug Chandler in the lead, looking for his 3rd straight victory of the season. He was victorious at Loudon, New Hampshire, and then at Elkhart Lake, and here he is in front over his teammate, Scott Russell. They were both heat winners.
First time down Biscayne Boulevard, up to about 135 miles an hour, and then hard on the brakes, peel it off to the left, coming back toward start-finish to complete lap 1. That's the hardest braking area of the racetrack, and here's one of the toughest acceleration points.
And you see running in 3rd and 4th, the Yamahas of Thomas Stevens and Dave Sadowski, with Randy Renfro's Honda maintaining 5th.
Renfro very much part of the championship picture. He is 2nd in the points behind this man, number 10. Doug Chandler is your point leader. There is Renfro, number 5. So the championship battle is right up there in the heat of that first 5. And right behind them, we get glimpses of the number 1 bike, the defending series champion. That is Jamie James.
That Ducati bike, the only fuel-injected rig, the European bikes come here. The Ducati with fuel injection and with a weight advantage. They're at 320 on those twins as opposed to the 4 cylinders of 370-pound bikes.
Looks like this will shape up as an early battle as number 5 Renfro moves up and tries to put some moves on Sadowski. Thomas Stevens has his Yamaha right on the rear wheel of those 2 Kawasaki's. There's an outside move, but not really a move. Sadowski slipping wide and letting Renfro come underneath, and that will change 4th and 5th spot. Renfro's Honda now the 4th place man.
And Sadowski dropping to 5th as they go through this double chicane. The end of MacArthur Drive leading on to Biscayne Boulevard, fastest part of the course. How fast here, David?
130, 135, a little slower when they moved the chicane up into the juncture there of MacArthur and Biscayne. That tended to reduce the top speed, but it made that entrance much safer. Chandler's key is being smooth. He has been very, very smooth from the start here, from the very first practice session, and he is continuing that. Here's your Daytona 200 winner, Sadowski, as he runs in 5th. Chandler trying to open it up front.
Sadowski to number 25. The 5 is Renfro. And Renfro has had a very good season thus far, as David was saying. 2nd in the standings currently to Doug Chandler. He had a 2nd at Daytona. Came up with that 5th at Loudon, 2nd at Elkhart Lake. And he's really working out here.
It's a beautiful, beautiful picture to see these guys dragging the knees through the corners. 10 years ago, that was such a revolutionary deal, a new technique that Kenny Roberts had developed. Now everybody gets out there and does it. It's just fascinating to watch the body English that gets you around the racetrack.
Tell us about that body English as we watch them here in this very tight portion of the course in Bicentennial Park.
By hanging off the motorcycle and dragging your knee like Dale Quarterly was doing there, you're able to actually hold the bike more upright, Ken. You lean out and keep the bike more upright underneath you. That enables you to use more of the tire. If you have to lean the motorcycle over that much, then you run the risk of losing traction.
Here you see the number 11, Thomas Stevens, closing up. Stevens on the Yamaha, closing on Scott Russell's Kawasaki. And this is a manufacturer's battle as much as it is a rider battle.
Very much so, with 4 Japanese makers and the Italian Ducatis involved. Not full-blown factory teams, not official factory teams, but in fact independent teams with varying degrees of factory support. Here's where you'll get the sense of speed. We're riding with John Ashmead, and look at the pictures.
At Kawasaki of John Ashmead, currently being shown back in the 11th position in the field. He started on the 2nd row.
Yeah, Ashmead did not get a great start. Here he is from our cameras watching him, and here we see what he sees. See the change in the track surface there? That's that pavement we talked about at the top of the show, and you'll see those transitions all around this racetrack. The asphalt itself is slippery, but that pavement, that concrete that they've laid down right there, you see it, it is just like glass. It is very, very slick out there.
So do you back out of it? Do you use less throttle?
Well, yeah, you do. You have to be more careful, and you have to be more gentle, more delicate in particularly the use of the throttle. Come back onto the throttle at the exit of the corner right there. You've got to do it very, very judiciously. There's not much traction out there. Typically, on a hot day like this, tire wear is a concern. In this case, not at all. As they flick through the chicane there, the tires are not wearing at all because there's simply not enough grip.
Watch his speed here now as he handles Biscayne Boulevard, fastest part of the course. You can see him getting up through the gears into fifth.
That up and down bob is when he shifted gears, and then the dive when he gets on the brakes hard.
Turn 10, turn 11 coming right by us now. John Ashmead, currently 11th overall in the field here in the Miami Grand Prix with these incredible pictures.
Hard right-hand heel there for Ashmead, former Daytona 200 winner. Got some catching up to do today. He's racing with Jacques Gannett for 10th spot.
Meanwhile, up in front, it's still 24-year-old Doug Chandler riding for the veteran tuner Rob Muzzy, drawing away from the field. And we'll be back with more of the Miami Grand Prix on CBS shortly.
Kawasaki just made it easier for couples to go steady. Right now, during our 2-up, 0-down promotion, you can get Kawasaki's Tandem Sport Jet Ski Watercraft for 0 down and no payments for 90 days. See your participating Kawasaki dealer before it's too late.
You know, summer heat can wreak havoc on house paint, so choose Weather Beater.
Come to Sears Summer National Paint Sale. We've reduced our Weather Beater flat finish paint to just $11.76.
So see you at Sears.
Sale ends July 28th. Hurry.
Some people think he's a Superman. But when a 43-year-old has to throw 75 fastballs, even Nolan Ryan's muscles can ache. So after the game, it's the medicine doctors recommend most for sprains and strains, Advil.
For me, it's a couple of Advil, and those muscle aches are long gone. And Advil's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Today, it isn't aspirin or Tylenol. It's Advil.
I feel ready to go another 9 innings.
Advil, tablets and caplets, advanced medicine for pain.
You know, summer heat can wreak havoc on house paint, so choose Weather Beater.
Come to Sears Summer National Paint Sale. We've reduced our Weather Beater flat finish paint to just $11.76.
So see you at Sears.
Sale ends July 28th. Hurry.
If I had a Nissan 240 SX, it'd be a red coupe. Wait, a silver fastback. And I'd go for a spin up Route 7. The twisty part. Just me and Astro. No, Amy. Heck, Christy Brinkley. Wow! Yeah, me and Christy in my silver, no, red 240 SX. Driving into the sunset.
13 of 40 laps complete. Doug Chandler out in front. Japanese bikes in the front 3 positions. The Italian Ducati with Jamie James in 4th. Taking a look further back, Rick Kirk up to 6th, Quarterly in 7th. And a little action out here in the Bay as well as on the racetrack in Miami this afternoon. We got a report there's a rider down. Jamie James, defending national champion on the Ducati. He was in 4th, is out of it at turn 8. Jamie James down. That's a bad break for Ducati, Dave.
Good to see him on his feet, climbing over the bales, holding his chest. Looked like he took a pretty good shot, but apparently not badly injured.
Raging Cajun from Louisiana out of it, and here's the man out in front. Doug Chandler drawing away from the field. Let's get an interval here. Give you an idea of how these bikes are situated in the top position. There you see Chandler out in front, coming down Biscayne Boulevard. Here is your 2nd place rider.
I guess on Biscayne Boulevard, we'd call it a couple of city blocks back to Thomas Stevens, and then the number 22 of Scott Russell, currently 3rd.
Round 10, right by turn 11, and by us, across to the start-finish line, as Chandler continues out in front and dominates this event. The question is, will he become the next Freddie Spencer? He has not finished out of the top 3 in the first 4 races of the season. Here you see him, Chandler, the 24-year-old.
This is Rick Kirk. Rick is running 5th today. This man has very, very little Superbike experience, and he is turning in a superb ride. He's the new member of the Yoshimura team. They've been racked with injuries, and Kirk had a spectacular ride in the heat race, is now very much in contention. Young man from Oklahoma who actually started his career as a motocrosser and then decided he'd give road racing a try. He's only been doing it a couple of years, and this is only his 2nd or 3rd ride on a Superbike. So he is turning in an excellent performance here today. Star of the future.
Showing a lot of style there as he really got the knee down.
Well, when you slide that rear wheel like that, Ken, it looks spectacular, it feels spectacular, but indeed it is becoming a new technique for steering the bike. Again, we refer back to Kenny Roberts, who began to develop it. We talk about the fact that the Americans do it so well. When you get on the throttle and actually skid the rear wheel around a little bit, it enables the bike to corner more sharply. You'll see Chandler do it perhaps less here than we've seen some of the other guys do it. Chandler's very smooth here. He's not sliding that thing big time off the corner. Just a little bit of a skid to make sure that you've got the maximum amount of throttle on, and also to help actually turn the front end back up the racetrack. Dirt track racers do it all the time. There was a time when it was inconceivable to slide a motorcycle road racer. If you slid on the pavement, you were going to crash, but now it's de rigueur. Everybody does it.
Thank Kenny Roberts for that?
Absolutely, yeah. He developed the technique, and everybody else has built on it, and following in his footsteps, of course, were the likes of Freddie Spencer, who's here today, back in the pack, but took that technique one step further.
Well, in the same way that Kenny Roberts led the professionals to new heights and popularity in the early 80s, motorcycling has gained new popularity with some famous people that may surprise you.
Outside of my family and other things like my run and some of the big hits we had as a coach and as an announcer in basketball, my bike is the most important thing in my life.
For 25 years, motorcycle riding's been the passion of Al McGuire's life. He talks about a feeling that sounds almost addictive in its power, and it's obvious millions of people share his two-wheel love affair.
The freedom. There's something about the odor. There's something about being in a bubble and vista vision. And maybe it's a once a child, always a child type thing.
It's apparent in the look on a child's face. There's a fascination with these beautiful, powerful machines. But you don't have to be a kid to appreciate strapping on a helmet, going for a ride.
How do you think you're going to like biking? I think I'm going to love it.
Yes, the rich and famous feel that childlike pleasure, too. Elizabeth Taylor went for her first ride behind longtime motorcycle enthusiast, the late Malcolm Forbes. And motorcycles are no laughing matter for comedian Jay Leno, who keeps a collection of several. Former baseball superstar Reggie Jackson, he's also caught the superbike craze. And TV actor Perry King likes to take his bike and ride the hills around his L.A. home. But basketball's Al McGuire sometimes takes off for days on his Harley, sums it up best.
But there's something at the end of that day, your hands ache, and especially at my age, your hands ache and your eyes get a little sore from the wind and so on and so forth. But it's a keeper. It's top shelf.
I don't want a pickle. Just want to ride on my motorcycle. And I don't want a tickle, 'cause I'd rather ride on my motorcycle. And I don't want to die, just want to ride on my motorcycle.
Here at the Miami Grand Prix, John Hopperstad's in a pickle with his motorcycle. Mechanical problems putting him out.
Ken, I think that's the only thing at this point. He says, I don't know what happened. Thing just broke. I think that's the only thing that could stop Doug Chandler here today as we pick up the action again with the leader. He is so dominant over this field. If that motorcycle stays in one piece, I don't think anybody's going to see him.
And we'll be back with the Miami Grand Prix and these great motorcycles after this message and a word from your local station.
An international race for hidden fortune.
Oh. Sounds like a bit of fun.
Becomes a deadly competition.
Oh, dear.
On Murder, She Wrote. Then, in a world of injustice, when enough is enough, it's time to take a stand. Louis Gossett Jr., Holly Hunter, Richard Widmark, a gathering of old men tonight. A cop relives his terrifying true story when his family is caught in the crossfire.
I was certain my family and I would die too.
True stories of top cops. Wednesday.
This is CBS.
So, are you excited about where you live? Wouldn't recommend it, huh? How's the traffic situation? Easy to get to the airport? How about the quality of life? Got things like Marta? Or Fernbank? Callanwold? Or Stone Mountain Park? Must drive you clean out of your tree. Well, if we were you, pal, we'd live with us.
Today, certain cars can no longer ride on their reputation for new car quality. Because in a recent J.D. Power and Associates survey, one car was named the most trouble-free in its class. The car, Toyota Camry, which is good news for those who drive Camrys, and for some who don't. Test drive the Toyota Camry today at your North Georgia Toyota dealers.
On our next current affair, the hunt for Bambi.
And welcome back to Summer Sports 90 from Miami. It's the Miami Motorcycle Grand Prix. We're midway in the event with Dave Despain and Mike Joy. I'm Ken Squire. A little amphibious action here just off the course. At halfway, we've had one serious crash that brought out a red flag. Wes Cooley was injured there. Doug Chandler has led the entire race thus far. And right now, the story continues to be the heat. 130-degree track temperature, and Mike Joy can tell us more about it.
Dale Robinson is getting a cool down here in pit lane. Don't get up. Are you okay?
I'm okay now. From about the 9th lap, I had cramp in my shoulders. I've been told about drinking water all day, and I've tried to do it, and taking salt tablets, and I was just finished from lap 9. I shouldn't, you know, like, I just couldn't hang on to the bike anymore. I was getting the lads away. Should I, you know, like, I need to get fit in a hurry. I think I'm not used to the heat. I'm from England. This is too hot for me.
Coal miner couldn't stand up to it today. Doug Chandler staying first as we take a look at the standings with 26 of 40 complete. Stevens in second, the number 11 rider, and here you see him, and there's the 22, and that's the battle that's being, the position that's being contested right now out here. Thomas Stevens and Scott Russell on the 22 bike, the Kawasaki.
And that's tightening up, Ken. Stevens is under some pressure here from Scott Russell. He had drawn away to a pretty healthy interval, but now it's tightened down to bike lengths, and I think that it's Russell going faster. I don't think Stevens is slowing down. The interval up here to the leader, Doug Chandler, is holding about the same.
Cape Coral, Florida rider Stevens, and here you see Chandler with the advantage and continuing to just wear down the field. He looks like he's in great shape physically, and the bike, well, it's a muzzy bike. Of course, he's had a lot of championships as a tuner.
He's in control of the pace of the race now. He's getting his pit signals. Here's Chandler coming down into the left-hander. He'll be getting that signal after he makes the next corner to tell him his lap time. Whoa, Stevens is off the racetrack.
Thomas Stevens, 5th in points, had a real chance to gain. He's in big trouble here.
Kenny didn't crash. There's no damage to the bike. I think he overshot the corner, went off the road. The engine's dead.
And he wants somebody to assist. You can see him motioning back for one of the corner workers to give him some assistance and try to get back in this event.
He needs a restart. Question is, will the bike fire? The concern the corner worker has is the oncoming traffic. If somebody else skids out through there, they both get T-boned.
The Terry Vance, Brian Hines, Yamaha, they're trying to get it refired, get him back in this event. It's been a great run thus far for Thomas Stevens, who set on the pole at Daytona earlier this year.
Still hasn't fired. The problem is the corner worker's not got his heart in pushing it there. He finally got it lit off, and he'll get back into the race, and I believe still in the top 10.
But nearly a lap behind David, falling from 2nd to 7th, number 11. And appropriating first place, it'll be number 22, Scott Russell, the Jonesboro, Georgia rider, 25 years old. He's already had 1 second place this year at Loudon, New Hampshire, working on a second here in the Miami Motorcycle Grand Prix. More in a moment.
This is how a racetrack looks when you're on a Yamaha FZR. And this is how it looks when you're on something else. See why winning on the track results in some of the most advanced motorcycles on the street. Yamaha.
I didn't think it could happen here, but it did. It started slowly. Before I knew it, the damage was done.
Water damage, it's a growing menace. To prevent it, millions look to Thompson's Water Seal to protect their homes. Thompson's unique formula penetrates wood, concrete, and brick to lock water out like nothing else.
It's gotta be stopped before it's too late.
Trust the #1 seller, Thompson's Water Seal. First and lasting protection.
Just how easy can your Yamaha dealer put you on a new Yamaha? That easy. Can-do financing for a limited time only at your local Yamaha dealer.
New MCI Vision gives my business, the big business long distance control, the fortunate 500 get. Why MCI? They see us in the proper perspective.
Introducing MCI Vision, big business long distance for your business.
Times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down.
The Brewers meet the surprising White Sox at soon-to-be history Comiskey. The Cardinals journey to Shea and a foray with the red-hot Mets next Saturday.
At three-quarter distance in the Miami Grand Prix, Doug Chandler continues to dominate. Coming up next on CBS, Budweiser Boxing Series, Buddy McGurk goes up against undefeated Jose Bermudez from Atlantic City. Here you see Dale Quarterly, the 5th place rider, and currently the leading true independent in this race, Dave.
Ken, this could get really interesting. Watch Randy Renfro, number 5. Then comes Rick Kirk, the 89 bike. And then Quarterly, number 32. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. That's getting... Oh, Quarterly's off the motorcycle.
Quarterly has the bike go out from underneath him. The Rockland, Massachusetts rider down. He's getting back to his feet.
Look at that black strip down the middle of the racetrack. I can't help but wonder if that's oil, and if it is oil, was it a factor in the crash? Let's watch the wheels, see which one goes first. Quarterly in the left-hander, heeled over hard. Oh, no, he washed out the front end. May or may not have been an oily racetrack condition, but he definitely washed the front and crashes away 5th spot.
Quarterly lays down his Honda. That drops him back. Here you see Renfro still on the attack. Had a great early start and has fallen back some.
He's still under pressure from number 89, Rick Kirk, who's just having a magnificent ride here today. He is 4th, and he's working on the 2nd-ranked rider in the series, and this is a man with very little Superbike experience. Sadowski will now inherit 5th spot as he works his way through the chicane.
Dave Sadowski, number 25, the winner at the Daytona track this year, first event of the season.
That, of course, is the biggie, the one everybody wants to win. The season opens with the biggest race of the year, sort of like in stock car racing, and Sadowski won the 49th running. Here's Tom Stevens, number 11, his teammate, about to be lapped by Doug Chandler. Chandler dives underneath. That was a potential battle for 1st and 2nd. Now Chandler has put him a lap down, and that means that Doug has lapped up through 7th place. But Ken, we've got a report of a potential problem here. Apparently the radios have gone out on the circuit. The safety workers don't have radio communication. They're going to stop this race.
Red flag is coming out. First time we've ever seen anything like this, Dave. There is a communications breakdown to all these corner workers on the 11 turns around this 1.5-mile circuit. 31 laps complete. Here you see Chandler, the leader, and he's motioning for a back marker to swing on by.
Don't know what that's all about, Ken. He obviously wants Larry Schwartzback, number 14, in front of him for whatever reason. Tom Stevens now a lap down is right behind him. They have not yet taken the red flag as they come down the start-finish line, toward the start-finish line. They will get that red flag. Now he goes back around Schwartzback. I'm not sure what that was about. Red flag awaits him around the next corner.
And that will bring this race to a halt for the second time. In the first lap, we had a red flag after a serious crash in turn 1 that injured Wes Cooley. Red flag is out. And the indication here is Chandler is waving to the crowd. He thinks he's won this race.
I think Chandler believes, or Chandler certainly hopes, that this race will not restart. And if that's the case, he's the winner. I'm not sure that might not be a premature conclusion.
Now, the story is if you're half the distance, it's an official race. But I would think with this many laps to go that you might be going back to a green flag situation, David.
It's the officials' call. Yes, half the race constitutes a full event in the event they can't restart. But they do have the option of restarting the race and trying to run it the full distance. Chandler's happy. He's popping wheelies. He says, hey, I won this thing. I've got 3 in a row. I think we better wait for an official call to see if that is actually the case.
Giving every indication that he has ridden to another championship win of the 1990 season. His 3rd straight, and he's going right to the pit area and believes he's going right to victory lane, David.
Yeah, he's ready to start the party, absolutely. And I think Ken well-deserved, a well-deserved feeling on his part. He knows he would out-whip those guys. We're just waiting for the official confirmation of that one way or the other.
Let's eavesdrop on promoter Ralph Sanchez.
They can't go. They say they're beat. Okay. So let's announce it that we're gonna. It's been our decision to go ahead and I will announce. Let the announcer know first.
Roger Edmondson making the announcement that this race is official. It's over. Here's Mike Joy.
Make it up for tomorrow in the 10
Stand by, Richard.
Ralph, to call a race at this point, this is a safety consideration?
Yes, safety, because this is a very demanding course. Everybody's tired. We only have a few laps to go, so we've decided to go to the last lap that we ran on the green, and we're going to go with those positions.
Doug Chandler looks as fresh as any winner usually looks.
I want to know what Scott Russell thought about this. He might have had one last shot at Chandler here. Let's go to Mike Joy on pit road with the man who is the runner-up.
You won't have a shot to go back out there and challenge for first, but is calling this thing at this point okay with you?
Yeah, that's our decision. Dave and Doug and myself, we all got together, and it's just, like you said, it's a very demanding course, and it's just taking it out of us. And I think restarting it with 8 laps to go, they never do it any other time. If it's over the halfway mark, they call it a race, and I don't see why we should change it now.
Well, there you see the exhaustion on some of the other riders that weren't so far up in the standings today, David. Let's go to Mike Joy for more on that story now.
Now, they red flagged the race, and all you leading drivers got together and talked about it.
Yeah, you know, I could see if we were somewhere around halfway through the race going ahead and, you know, gridding us back up and making a full restart. But under these kind of conditions where the weather is just beating down on you and you're in this leather suit for 45 minutes, you know, it really takes its toll on your body. And to go that far through the race and only have, you know, that few laps left to go, it really wouldn't have been fair to run, you know, the rest of the race and call it a race, because actually, in turn, you know, the first part of the race that we ran really was for nothing.
Well, Ken, he's drenched in sweat here, but he takes home his 3rd straight victory on the tour and pads the point lead.
Doug Chandler is victorious here today. Scott Russell, teammate, takes 2nd. Randy Renfro comes home in 3rd. Rick Kirk in 4th. And we'll have more on this story from Miami in a moment.
It's really no big deal. I'm twice as old as most of the guys out there. So I just go twice as fast.
We're out in the middle of nowhere. I'm buying some KFC for the road. I could have just gotten some for myself, but I figured I'd get a whole meal. Why do I need so much chicken? One whiff and my brother's food radar goes off. chicken? He gets some or I die young. And then there's Doris with her 5-inch fingernails. So I thought I'd make us all happy.
Original recipe chicken. All the fixings from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's the only good thing about this trip.
You know, when most people invite you to see their house, they usually give you an address.
Well, they said that we couldn't miss it. They said that it has the look.
Well, all these houses have been recited. They all look the same.
Now, there's an interesting house.
That's some paint job.
That's the one.
Dutch Boy Satin Finish Paint. For the look that gets the looks year after year. You can see why it's worth more.
Kawasaki just made it easier for couples to go steady. Right now, during our 2-up 0 down promotion, you can get Kawasaki's Tandem Sport Jet Ski Watercraft for 0 down and no payments for 90 days. See your participating Kawasaki dealer before it's too late.
Well, there you see them. The final standings on the Miami Grand Prix is Chandler and Russell finish first and second. Randy Renfro winds up in third. Rick Kirk comes back to a great fourth-place finish, and Dave Sadowski winds up in fifth. To say that it was unusual is an understatement. Haven't seen one like this before. What happened? With 8 or 9 laps to go, they finally conceded that the communication system was breaking down around the course, and so they red flagged the event, and on top, Doug Chandler for his 3rd straight victory. Mike Joy, this is as unusual a race finish as I've ever seen. How about you?
Well, it is, Ken, but look at these overheated riders as they relax after the event. It's 90 degrees, it's high humidity, and as Chandler told us, this course demands all your concentration and judgment. A lapse in either one of those could prove disastrous. The riders are here because they want to race, not put their bikes on the truck. And if the leaders got together and decided enough was enough, well, I'm with them. We saw a great show. It had a strange ending.
Well, thank you, Mike. All right, Despain, you're the motorcycle Naven. How about this one?
Unusual indeed, Ken. I don't recall having seen one stop before because the radios quit working. But from the very top of the show, we talked about the issue of safety on a street course. The decision was made for safety, and I think the quarterly crash that occurred under that potentially dangerous situation was really the bottom line in this one. They needed to stop it. And I think the other important point to make is that if they had run this thing for 200 laps, it wouldn't have made a bit of difference. Doug Chandler would have just kept going and going and going until whenever it ended. He had him beat.
He looks like the AMA Superbike champion for 1990 for sure. Well, I've seen him blacked out, snowed out, rained out, but I've never seen them communicated out. This was the most unusual finish I've ever seen. For Dave Despain and for Mike Joy, I'm Ken Squire. That's the story of the 1990 Miami Motorcycle